Hello and welcome to today's edition of Rabbi's Corner. I'm your host, Rabbi Kahan. We got a great show we put together for you today. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Today's topic is community, which spawned from a discussion that I had last week with John Ellis, a local business owner, entrepreneur, and our relationship transcends words. It's just a good understanding that we got about the heart that we have for community. We sat down together and we got into a discussion about, our feelings coming from where we come from about what we can do to better the community, which translates to me as empowering the common man. So with that, we're going to go into the break, and then when we come back, we'll get into the interview. Also, later on in the show, we're going to go downtown to the Jacksonville Transit Hub, and we'll be discussing the new transit system. It's running week here. They're changing a lot, making a lot of changes, and they're actually running the bus lines for free. And people are saying that it's a mess, and I just want to know more about it. Community, the common person is having a problem with the transit system, and we're going to go down there and see what it's all about. Be back after this.
Credit Repair and More. Call 904-422-2273. For new home loans and vehicle loans, it depends on your credit score. We can help erase negative information at 904-422-2273.
Black. A black artist, but when you see her, she's what?
She's white.
She's white.
Right.
So our kids don't really have no idols or no icons that they can see, that's right, that they can feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That allow them to make decisions where they say, well, we don't have to do the robbery. We don't have to do the crack sale. We don't have to do this here. Because look, I just met Mr. Joe, and Mr. Joe owns a successful business up there off of Myrtle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's doing this and he's doing that in the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I understand that we need more positive role models in our community.
Right, icons. Yeah, we have to be those icons. We have to be those figures that, that our people can reference to as pillars of strength. You know what I mean? Models for the community. Mm-hmm. We have to be those models. We can't wait for somebody else to be that for us, of course not.
Right.
Right.
What kind of steps you think as young African American men such as you and myself, what steps do we got to take?
We taking the steps right now. We have to just stay persevering in what we're doing right now. We have to know that we have the capacity to do what's correct, and that we are doing what's correct, and the courage to go public. You know what I mean? Knowing that the public image of us right now is not very good, and the one that's being put on us or programmed into our minds is not really for our benefit. So we just have to go public and doing righteous works. We got to get out in the open.
Right.
That could mean a lot of things. But if we're going to do it in a fashion that fits the times, then more likely it's getting our video cameras, getting, saying the right things and being recorded, saying those things and letting those recorded some kind of way fall in the hands of our young. Because that's the kind of stuff they like. That's the medium that they use to get their information and their cultural, their culture. So we have to get involved in where their attention is, and we got to put some positive images to balance out the ones that we don't feel like are so wholesome.
Right. So when you think us going to the neighborhoods, talking to the youth, would that be more of a movement, more of a...
I think the ones that will listen to us and will be most effective aren't really in the neighborhoods. They're behind the computers. And if they are there in the neighborhoods, they're in the house and they're behind the computers. Now the guys who are in the community who are already determined to do what they're gonna do, you're not gonna be able to talk to them. It's they got something to go through before our message is even gonna get to them, and I think we have to let them go through that. We gotta let them go through that. What we do, we go get our people that have been through that, or just have a sense that
broken people.
Yeah, people, sensitive people.
Right. They've been through it and they done all that.
Right.
They're eager to listen.
Right.
Then the brother that's his mind made up won't do this.
Right, we let him do what he want to do. Let him do what he want to do. because we don't know the outcome. We've been through stuff, and it took for us to be by ourselves and to make some decisions and come out of it, to know our strengths and our abilities, you know.
Right.
And you know, so.
Well, that's real deep right there.
Right. So. Yeah, I still think it's in the cyber world. I think YouTube is a very good tool if it is approached right. And I think they got like a blog talk radio. All of those I went through and studied, and there's some brothers on there really trying their best to, you know, promote conscious.
Yeah. That's here in Jacksonville? Or?
Well, they all around the country. I'm sure some guys here in Jacksonville, they may not be that popular, and I don't run across them as much as I do maybe the guys out of Atlanta or New York.
Right.
But the whole it's there, and the information. When you're dealing with the truth, it really don't matter where it's coming from or who's telling it. You know, if we just rally, like you say, if we rally behind our icons, you know, and don't be so selfish and you know, because the information out there is good, but then everybody wants to be that icon. You know, everybody wants to be that name. They're giving the information, but they got an ego with it. You know, they're giving the way for the people to, and by the information I mean the things that the people, the empowering information that the people gonna need. To improve their situation. And I think if we try to get to the community with anything, it should be that. It should be that empowering information that's going to change their situation without them having to leave really where they are to change it. Mm-hmm. You know, so what type of information that would empower the people from where they are? That wouldn't, because we talking about poor people here or disadvantaged people here. They don't have money. They don't have resources. You know what I mean? But they have a strong desire to have a lot of stuff from the world, a lot of material things. You know what I mean? So how do we give them some kind of balance? We need to give them some sense of empowerment personally so that they don't have to be so in a desire to gain material stuff that they go out and do, you know, extreme things to get them. You know what I mean? So I think the movement has to be largely based in telling the kids somehow, or conveying the message to the kids somehow that they are okay like they are, that that some kind of way you being ungrateful, that really you have more than you really looking at that you have. You know what I mean? It's the simple things that really are important. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And some way we have to promote that to them so they don't be so much in heat for that next moment or that next experience, and you know, and they missing their childhood, and they missing so much by not just, you know, not knowing that it's something you can gain by not doing so much, you know. But we have to really believe in that ourselves, and that is something that no matter how much effort I put forth, is more precious than anything I could work for to get. You know what I mean? And you have that already. That's life. You know what I mean? Right. There's no amount of work you can put forward to produce life. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All this work we doing, but it's not going to produce the most important factor. You know what I mean? It will give us comfort, but the most important ain't produced through activity. It's what's already there. You know what I mean? And what we have to show them that God is in their life close, that the most important element is already there. You know what I mean? Right. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get carried away. I think we need to have, we ready for a commercial break right quick. We'll be right back.
That's gonna give me a little bit more leverage than I would say the other brother that might be shining up and ain't never been through anything, ain't never been through what we have been through.
Right.
So I find that as a definitely a good strategy, a good way in to get into their minds once they see your job, especially the ones that know of you. Know where you came from. Right. They'll at least listen.
Right.
So your word got to be effective.
Right.
It's got to be. Your word has to be really. You got to be saying something.
Right.
In order for them to receive it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if we only get, if it's 5 boys and we get 1,
Right.
it's a job well done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, well, the message is really not that hard to take in, okay? Because the message is for all of the children and everyone, everywhere, you already are the most important thing. You the most important issue. And somewhere we sense that, you know what I mean? Somewhere all of us have a sense of self-importance. We just don't take it that seriously. We don't follow it all the way through, and we'll continue on to put other issues more important than ourselves. If we were to turn most of our attention on ourselves and keep it there most of the time, then that would clear a lot of, at least gossip will slow down. You know what I mean? At least hating will slow down because, you know.
Yeah, but you know, it's hard when the slave masters have embedded this in our forefathers. They knew what they were doing.
Right.
We'll put this in their parents, and the parents will put it in the children, so that we don't have to change them no more. Because their parents gonna teach them to submit, to not believe that they can do anything but fail. When you're talking to them about starting their own business, and they're saying, no, I'm gonna keep working this job. You're gonna work till you're 40, 50, 60 years old, and what's after that? Social Security, which the way we're going, they're gonna take it away. Why don't you build your own business and depend on that versus working in a regular job at minimum wage and at 40, 50, 60, brother, where I come from, making $9, $10 an hour. What is that going to do for you? For one, we don't have insurance.
Right.
We don't have life insurance, most of our people. How are we going to educate them to better themselves? How do we break through that force field?
Well, first we have to tell them, and we have to know that there's nothing wrong with them from the start. What's going to free us is God. God is the perfection that is here now. God isn't away from this very moment. God isn't away. God is all heavily involved in everything that's going on.
Right.
Right. And God is perfect. Yes. And whether we know it or not, those people that we may perceive as not being in the correct place are there. They're in that place for a reason. You know what I mean? What they need to be told so that they don't have so much pressure in whatever position that they are in is that they're okay. See, we here, I feel like, is to spread the message of the living God. In one way or another, no matter how we dress it up, we have to bring life to the situation. If we go to the situation, we see it a dead one, we don't go to telling people what they need to do to get out of that situation. First thing we do is breathe life into the situation. Okay, yeah, you a bum on the street, you don't got no education, you ain't got no job, you should have opened your own business. Forget all the shouldas and wouldas. What are you? You're still God. You're still a product of God. You're still a child of God. You're still the perfection of God. You know what I mean? Forget my perception. This needs to be the first message. Not that the other messages aren't relevant, but the first message has to be the perfection that is there already. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you'll come to find that the people that we think are in such a bad situation recognize their inherent perfection and know that whatever's being laid on them is God's work. You know what I mean? We can judge from the outside and say, well, you should have been and you should be and you could be, but some kind of way they may just be accepting that whatever they're going through is God's magic. You know what I mean? And there are ways in and there's ways out, and there's a time to be up and there's a time not to be up and to give somebody else to see, you know? So we have to respect the cycle. Stars aren't made, they're born. And you're a star. I have to give it to you. But you're born that. You know what I mean? I heard a famous entertainer say it one time. He used to go around, he got famous, and he tried to make all his friends from the hood stars, tried to bring them with him, but he had to realize that you can't make stars. Stars, you know what I mean? Yeah. So love your position, but also, know that it's also God's position. You know what I mean? And love every position, because this is the same fact. The same fact is true to all positions.
Yeah. Through all my storm and my trouble, He heard me.
Right, I don't mean to cut you off. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about exactly what you're doing to help the community in your way, immediately. All right, we'll be right back.
better be ready, cause it's gonna be big.
I'm with you.
You hear me?
I'm with you.
Yeah, and I'm with y'all, man. I'm saying, cause what we gotta say is gonna stain the mindset of an individual.
Right.
And once we stain them, we supposed to shake something up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We don't want nobody to listen to us and just, no, we want somebody, wow, woo. So I know that he's going to use us to touch a plenty. You know what I mean? But my thing is, we can't rush it.
I agree.
We got to make sure this pot good.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because when you represent the Most High,
You gotta be right.
you gotta be
You
right.
don't let it through if it ain't.
Yeah. You gotta be right. Because look here, bro, because this movement going to get big, man.
I'm with it.
And because I'm passionate, you passionate, and you passionate what you do, man. I always, listen, man, I know that the way that I'm gonna speak, they're gonna try to kill me.
Right.
I already know it,
Right.
because I'm gonna give it.
Right.
Whatever, I always tell them, whatever God got for me to do, I'm gonna do
Right.
it. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I mean when I see brothers that still acting like a slave. See, you can help me. And I heard you say, no, bro, this here. And that's a good thing, bro, because we're going to educate and empower each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But when I see these brothers acting like slaves,
Right.
I let them know it. You're acting like a slave.
Right.
That ain't what you were meant to be.
Right.
You got to change your mindset.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't sit up here and see, you can't tell me it's about credit no more. You can't tell me that grass ain't green.
Right.
Boy, the veil off my eyes.
Right.
That's green over there.
Right.
And I know I got favor. My credit could be 300, but God got a, oh man. You want me to go there? Huh? Okay. But see, I know that everything that the world say no, when you got favor, God say yes.
Right.
So when you can have a 400 beacon scope, but you just got a loan as you had an 800 beacon scope.
Right.
And you got the bank owner saying, I don't know why I'm doing this. But I'm going to do this for you. That's cause God had touched him and say, I want you to help John.
Right.
I want you to help Jab. This is what I want you to do.
Right.
You know, but and going through all of that, bro, I'm able to talk to some people.
Right.
Because he had, and I ask people all the time, are you gonna do what God say? A young man come from where I come from, that now I'm experiencing a little piece of heaven.
Right.
Because of my obedience.
Right.
So imagine where God is finna take me to now that I'm even more in tune. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so it makes you feel good, man, when you know that you got a problem that's at your hands, but you got the great helper that you to rely on, which is the Most High.
Right.
You ain't really worried about that, bro, because even in Psalm 35 it said, do not fret, nor worry.
Right.
Because it only causes more harm.
Right.
So as a people, we should believe that.
Right.
Understand that.
Right.
If the Most High said, but our problem is letting the enemy fool us.
Right.
God said, don't fret.
Right.
Or worry. Then we need to practice not doing that.
You are totally right. I'm sorry, y'all. We getting off right now. We got to go right now. We coming to the end of the show. I'm having a good time. I ain't going nowhere, but I got to say bye to y'all. Rabbi Kahan, John Ellison.
Credit repair and more. Call 904-422-2273. For new home loans and vehicle loans, it depends on your credit score. We can help erase negative information at 904-422-2273.
Hello and welcome back. I know y'all been enjoying the show. All right, this Rabbi's question and answer section. Tammy from Chicago asks, why do we keep letting the police kill our children? Why do we keep letting the police kill our children? I don't think nobody really letting the police kill their children. You know, I don't know if you're asking why don't we rebel as a result to the police brutality. We do on the level that we can rebel, and then some of us are so sedated or under some type of hypnosis that they are powerless to fight the system that they just don't even try. But I don't even think it's a system thing. I think it's a real individual thing. All police, we can't just throw in a basket and say police are killing our children. It's some bad guys in every area of life. And what we got to do is deal with this disease. We're not going to get rid of the bad guys. In so many ways, we are the bad guys, maybe in the dark, maybe in the front. So we're not trying to kill the bad guy element in society. That's not going to help community. That's not going to help anybody. What it is to understand ourselves deeply, and the people need space to understand themselves deeper. And I think the pathological behavior that's coming out, the things that people are doing that seem so heinous and out of control, has a lot to do with them not having space to express themselves on other levels. What we should do is address these criminal pathologies, no matter whether the police have them or whoever have them, with love and care. And that's my thought. Let's understand ourselves and why we do the things we do, and then see that same and have that same love for others. I hope I helped. I talk with you guys later. Malcolm Session, he got some good stuff to say, real organic and spontaneous.
But
okay,
from the beginning, do you believe they went to the moon?
I've seen some stuff online that made me think twice about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they went to the moon in the 60s, which we call prehistoric times, why they can't go back?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Why they going to Mars then?
That's what they tell us. I don't know whether they're doing it or not. I don't trust nothing I see on TV.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying. I believe this whole situation has been a big scam or something.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hey,
But what I'm saying, okay, white folk, they call us the N-word, right?
right.
But can I tell you something? When they die, what color they turn? Oh, not one. Oh, it's
See, I don't know. I don't deal. I don't.
It's a fact. They're
Right.
going back to the color they originally were,
Right.
black.
Right.
Okay. So you have to.
I try to wrap it around to see whether information can help the community. All right, the
Okay.
information you give me, how can we apply that to
Okay.
community?
Well, all I'm saying is we need to have our own businesses.
right.
Stop hating on each other.
Right.
Thinking, well, I don't want him in charge because I don't like him. I don't want him in charge because I don't like. Okay, well, wasn't the trust factor in it? So
Right.
it's ain't no honor among thieves, no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we gonna get it? When we gonna get it together?
I think we can get it together. We got to start doing stuff like we're doing right now, talking with each other and not being afraid
Okay,
to
back
look
in
each
the
other
day,
in the face.
East Side used to have their own business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then, we got people Uncle Tom, dry snitching, all that kind of stuff on each other. Instead of us working together, try to have something. We trying to tell each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back. We down here in downtown Jacksonville at the Rosa Parks Community Transportation Hub. One of our producers took a ride on the bus system yesterday, and we're going to ask him about his experience. First of all, we had some changes this week. He got the ride for free. I think it was due to the change in route and frequency that the buses come. Anyway, we're going to ask him about his experience and see what happened. Jermaine. All right, you was on the bus yesterday. You told me some things about your experience. I want you to talk with me about them on camera.
Hello, y'all. First of all, thank y'all tuning in to the show, man. Hope y'all enjoying the show. Keep watching the show. But now, back to what me and you were just talking about earlier, man. I really don't like the changes. Maybe it's just because it's a change, but I don't think so. I really ain't feeling it, man. I've been riding buses over 35 years, man. Literally. I remember when bus was a quarter, man. I don't like the change. It ain't right.
Okay, but the bus ride was free, right?
Free don't make it better.
Free don't make it better, but free makes it free. What made you come down here in the first place? You want something for free? What's wrong with you?
I was trying to investigate and see what was going on because once again, I ride the bus here now. So I needed to see the change in what the system was, and I needed to see where the bus that was located near me, where and how could I get downtown to go to the next spot.
Right. So more than field research, this was an actual experience. This a bus rider for 30-something plus years, and he wanted to know more about what was going on, and he said he don't like it.
I don't like it.
As this pertains to the community, how can we? What do you think they can do to make it better?
Honestly, go back to where it was, because the new change ain't working.
The frequency change isn't working, or the part where the routes are changed. Did you notice a change of routes with the route that you take usually?
Oh yeah, this is what I'm saying to you. I had a 10-minute commute to downtown. It turned into about a 24-minute commute to downtown. I totally went outside of my direction before I ever started on my journey towards downtown. It's not just that, it's very confusing down here. Man, I had a real bad experience, and when I say a bad experience, I don't mean as far as being disrespected. I don't mean nobody being rude, nothing of that nature. But what I'm saying is, from the scheduling, the time lapses, the people directing you and sending you to the wrong buses, and listening and seeing the general complaining of other people became aggravating. And I understood what they was talking about. And the reason why I understood what they was talking about, because I was used to getting on my bus. And like I said, I'd be downtown in 10 minutes.
Do you feel like everybody who ride the bus or rode the bus is having a bad experience?
Me personally, I seen about 10 people say they were late for work. I seen about 4 people say they missed getting their children from school. And a whole lot of more people.
Wouldn't that be expected with something so new? You know, but wouldn't it be that they're giving out free rides this week just to get people's confidence, and also to show that maybe they're not perfect, but they're trying to work on something that maybe they put together for the people's sake? Or do you feel like this works against the people?
Honestly, I think it's going to work against the people. They're changing routes, and they're changing the time frames of the routes. And for years, these have been the routes, and people have built their schedules and the way that they make their living around these routes. So now for you to go and uproot and change all that, so now you're going to change a lot of households in the way that they participate as far as dealing with their children, and now you might have been able to eat breakfast with your child in the morning before you put them on the school bus, and now you might have to wake up an extra hour and a half just to get to work. So now that might be cut out now for you. So what I'm saying is it's not necessary. All change ain't good change. And in this case, from my personal experience, this wasn't good change.
What do you say about community busing as a entity in itself? Isn't that a good idea?
No, it's a great place because I like I said, I travel and I go places. And one of the places that I go is called Port Charlotte, Florida. And they have no public transportation there at all. Man, and everything is spread out so far. Now, they need a bus system in their city. I appreciate our bus system, and like I said, I've been riding for like 35 years, since I was 7 years old. Had cars, drive cars, and all, still getting in the truck and spend gas now. But what I'm saying is, when I need the public transportation, I need to be reliable for me. I don't need it to be wish-washy. I need it to be reliable, and I need it to be understandable. So what I'm saying is, the way that they're implementing this system and they're doing it all at once, it's too overwhelming for the general public to accept it or to understand.
For you, that's what you're speaking about. Are you sure that that's everybody's case, though? You really can't be sure.
If when you look behind us, you see a gang of them workers. They're workers that never down here before. They're running around for the simple fact that these people are confused. They don't understand it. And half of the people that are teaching it don't really understand. That's not the same thing about JTA, but that's just the thing about change and how it comes about and how it's perceived and how it's received by the masses. And all change, once again, isn't good change.
I've been asked again to give my thought of the day or give a thought for today. Which I feel like words are given too much importance sometimes. Words are limited by nature. They're necessarily limited, and we should not put a whole lot of time into paying attention to them outside of their usefulness on a superficial level. But words should not go deep. Words that we use should go beyond words. Should be words that go beyond words. A lot of our lives, a lot of our minds are filled with just too many words. Our life has too much wordishness about it. Maybe even what I'm saying about it is too much. We all know the value of silence. So don't be ruffled by words. Use them for their necessary usage, which is to contradict all wordishness, to go beyond words. And the proper use of words, in my opinion, is to push towards silence.
Credit repair and more. Call 904-422-2273. For new home loans and vehicle loans, it depends on your credit score. We can help erase negative information at 904-422-2273.
Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Come back next week and join us again. Rabbi's Corner. This Rabbi Kahan. I'm out.